All right, today we're diving into the health of the UK's mortgage market using the latest numbers from UK Finance. And, at first glance, things look pretty good. But as we're about to see, there's a really interesting and kind of worrying contradiction hiding just beneath the surface. So let's get right into it. So let's just jump right in with the big headline number. In just the last quarter, the total number of homeowner mortgages falling behind on payments actually dropped by 4%, which, hey, that's a great sign, right? It suggests fewer people are struggling to keep up. And get this, for landlords, the news is even better. The number of buy-to-let mortgages in what we call arrears fell by 8% in that same time frame. That's literally double the rate of improvement we just saw for homeowners. So, on the surface, this all paints a pretty rosy picture, doesn't it? Fewer homeowners, fewer landlords falling behind. Seems to point towards a mortgage market that's getting healthier. But is that the whole story? Okay, before we get to the twist, let's just be super clear on what arrears actually means here. We're not just talking about missing a single payment. To be in these stats, a borrower has to be behind by at least 2.5% of their entire mortgage balance. That's a real sign of serious financial difficulty. Now here's where it gets really fascinating. What happens when we actually split these numbers apart? Because when you put homeowners and landlords side by side, well, that's when you start to see where the real pressure point's on. Okay, this lays it all out for us. You can see straight away in raw numbers, way more homeowners are in arrears than landlords. But as a percentage of all mortgages, it's actually pretty close. And remember, as we just saw, the landlord's arrears numbers have been falling twice as fast lately. Now let's zoom in on the homeowners. We can see the different levels of trouble they're in. And here's the really good news. Every single one of these categories, from the least severe to the most, has seen a drop compared to last year. So for homeowners, it looks like everything is moving in the right direction. But, and this is a big but, here is our first major clue that something is off. For landlords, yeah, the less severe categories are falling too. But look at that highlighted slice. The most severe group, we're talking people with arrears over 10% of their balance, has actually jumped by 13% in the last year. That is a huge red flag. And that red flag right there, it leads us straight to the twist in this story. We have one trend that seems to show things are getting better, but another one lurking just below that points to a growing and very serious problem for a specific group of people. Which brings us right to this question. If the number of people falling into arrears is going down, that has to be good news, right? You'd think the system is working for most people. But what about the ones it's not working for? And here is the answer. Brace yourself. This is the year-on-year increase in the number of homeowner properties being repossessed, a staggering 51% rise. That is a massive jump that seems to completely contradict those falling arrears numbers we started with. So this is the paradox we're facing. Fewer people are getting into trouble in the first place, but a much, much larger number are now facing the ultimate consequence of losing their home. It suggests that while the safety net might be wider, for those who do fall through, the fall is getting a whole lot harder. And this table just confirms it. This isn't just a homeowner issue. Look at the buy-to-let numbers. Repossessions are up 29% year on year, and they've jumped 14% in just the last 3 months. For both groups, this trend is moving sharply in the wrong direction. So what are we supposed to make of all this? Arrears are going down, repossessions are shooting up. How does that make sense? Well, we need to put it all into perspective, because these raw numbers, they don't always tell the whole story. And the report itself actually offers this crucial piece of context. It says, while the rate of increase is alarming, the current level of repossessions is still, and I quote, significantly below the long-term average. And wow, this chart just says it all, doesn't it? That small bar on the left, that's where we are right now, about 1,400 repossessions in the quarter. But look at that much taller bar. That's the long-term average, which is over 8,000. So yes, the recent spike is a real concern, but we're still a long, long way from the crisis levels we've seen in the past. Okay, so let's wrap this up. What are the big takeaways? First, overall mortgage arrears are falling. That's good. But, and it is a big but, property repossessions are rising sharply. This really suggests a split market. Most people are managing, but a vulnerable minority is facing much more severe consequences. And finally, some perspective. While that rise in repossessions is worrying, the total numbers are still low by historical standards.
And all of this leaves us with one final crucial question. This strange combination of falling arrears and rising repossessions. Is it just a temporary blip while the system works through some tough old cases? Or is this an early warning sign, the canary in the coal mine for deeper stress to come in the UK property market? Honestly, the next quarter's data is going to be very, very telling.